WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
The dangerously hot temperatures continue to impact mid-Michigan. The weather is our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Jorma Duran. We remain in dangerous territory as far as the weather goes tonight.
So let's send it right over to Chief Meteorologist David Young. And David, how long is this heat going to stick around?
We've got at least 24 more hours of really hot weather, and then it's going to cool down a little bit, but it's still going to be plenty muggy all week long. Our current temperatures, 93 Lansing, 91 degrees in Jackson, 95 degrees is about as high as I've seen in Adrian so far this afternoon. Heat advisory continues for most of mid-Michigan until tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. There is an excessive heat warning in effect for Branch and Hillsdale counties, and then over towards the Flint, Detroit areas as well, anticipating a little higher heat index values out there today and again into tomorrow. We're also watching some showers and storms to our northwest. Important because this system will be in the area tomorrow, so we'll have a few afternoon clouds and a chance for a few storms, and that will keep temperatures down just a little bit as we head into tomorrow. At least for tonight, though, things are looking good. Into tomorrow, as far as storms go, it's going to be in the afternoon before we start to see a significant chance for thunderstorms. The heat index forecast, now notice, still high out there as we head into this evening and into tomorrow. And then, although it's still muggy the rest of the week, heat index values will be getting a little bit better. Wait till you see the forecast for next week. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, David, we appreciate that. Well, this heat wave has everyone trying to cool off, especially those who have no choice but to work out in the heat.
Yeah, 6 News reporter Zach Preece spoke with local construction workers who are doing their best to stay safe on the job. So Zach, how are they managing these conditions?
Siobhan, Jorma, everybody should be taking steps to stay cool, especially in this extreme heat, but especially those working outside, and even more so those working on pavement, which can make things even hotter. The Environmental Protection Agency says cities can be 7 degrees hotter than their surrounding areas, and that's due to high concentrations of concrete, which absorbs heat rather than bouncing it off. Because of this, it's especially important for people outside in Lansing or East Lansing to be aware of heat-related illnesses like heat exhaustion or heat stroke. A construction worker working on Michigan Avenue today told me that him and his crew keep an eye on each other, making sure they get enough water and even use electrolyte packs. He says he'd rather be safe than sorry, and consistent breaks in the air conditioning are a must.
Water, Gatorade, sometimes some fruit, whatever, that's helpful. Just taking air breaks, with the air conditioning. 10-15 minute break maybe every hour, depending on how you feel, what I'm saying. Typically if you feel, you need to take a break. I mean, we're out here to work, we're not out here, to get injured.
And the state office in charge of worker safety says that it's important for employers to provide cool water and recommends drinking 8 ounces of water every 20 minutes. And that's even if you don't feel thirsty. So keep that in mind. It's also important to keep an eye out for symptoms like paleness, dizziness, and hot and dry skin, as those could be early indicators of heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Back to you.
Zach, we appreciate that. And in response to the heat, the city of Lansing activated its extreme heat weather plan, giving people places to go to cool off. These include the Letts, Foster, Geyer, New Hope, and Alfreda Schmidt Southside Community Centers, all of which are open both today and tomorrow. Advent House Ministries also is acting as a cooling center for the next 2 days.
And for more information on cooling centers and their days and hours of operation and a look at the forecast any time of the day, just head to our website, WLNS.com.
The extreme heat isn't just hard on people, it's also hard on your pets.
Yes, it is. The conditions outside right now cause significant stress for a lot of animals.
So animal care experts say make sure your pets have plenty of water and shade to help them keep cool. Limit exercise to early morning and evening when it's cooler and shorten the duration. They say you should also monitor your pets for signs of stress, and that could happen at different temperatures than it does for humans.
That temperature is going to be highly variable, just like it is for people. We all have different levels of tolerance, and that tolerance can be related to the breed of animal as well as any underlying conditions that the animal might have. So if it's hot for you, as a general rule, it's going to be hot for your animal as well.
And to see the full interview on pet safety, just head to our website, WLNS.com.
Workers over at Potter Park Zoo are following that good advice as they try to keep all of their animals safe, and there are many. To keep animals cool and comfortable, staff members are using things like misters, fans, pools, and sprinklers. And the animals themselves, some of them have their own ways of cooling off.
With it being this hot, the animals are trying to stay as cool as possible, so that means not a lot of action is happening. As you can see, our kangaroos are kind of just laying low right now. They're actually trying to stay cool. Some things that they do naturally is they'll lick their arms, and that's where the heat is released. And then they'll kind of dig. You'll see they're in like ditches. They've dug out those ditches because it's cooler sand down there.
Well, be sure to stay with 6 News on air, online, and through our 6 News app as we continue to follow the ongoing heat wave.
A Jackson County man is facing charges tonight after the sheriff's department there says he assaulted his father with a handgun in Summit Township.
It happened Saturday night on Taylor Street. Authorities say the son had the handgun pointed at the father inside the home when they arrived, and then he ran off. Investigators say after a physical fight, the suspect pushed the handgun into the back of his father's head, leaving a mark, and pulled the trigger. We are working to find out if the gun fired or not. Officers later arrested the son for assault with intent to murder, being a prohibited person in possession of a firearm, and other charges. The identity of the father and son has yet to be released. Well, the Green Door, a longtime Lansing music venue and bar, will no longer host live music and entertainment on Fridays and Saturdays starting after June 28th, and it'll be a decision that'll last for the rest of the summer. The owner, Jen Costigan, is also looking for a buyer for the bar. She said in a press release that after 34 years, she is hanging up her captain's hat. There will be a farewell event on June 28th with local bands Big Willie and Root Doctor. Live events, though, will continue on Thursday nights, giving the My Life Sports Club and Jason White DJing karaoke a home for the rest of the summer.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
This has been really one of those heat waves. You just got to be by a body of water, be it a pool, a river, a lake, or Lake Michigan. That's always a good place as well, or any of the Great Lakes. Our picks on 6 pick of the day comes to us from Leo. One of my favorite spots, and I got a lot of them to state of Michigan, but this is from South Haven. Just enjoying the sun going down, and even if it is hot, you're by the waters, which always will cool it off a few degrees. I'd love to see more pictures of bodies of water or weather or anything else outside. If you can get out there in this heat, just upload them at WLNS.com/share, and you might see it right here on TV 6 News at 6. So we check out the high temperature trend. Now there is some relief on the way. I mean, tomorrow low 90s. It's still going to be plenty hot outside, but then we're looking at 80s. Still going to be muggy through the weekend. Then we're looking at 70s and much lower humidity. So the real relief is going to move in by the early portions of next week. Our satellite and radar, some showers and storms to the northwest this evening. Now, as we head through the overnight hours, there will be some severe weather there, but as it moves into mid-Michigan, it's basically going to fall apart tonight. Tomorrow, different story. Level 1 risk, maybe some gusty winds with some of the stronger storms out there, and that'll continue on Wednesday. In fact, we're going to have storms in the forecast right through Friday. So we look at precision cast. Now when these storms die out tonight, they're going to throw out what's called an outflow boundary. There it is right there, little band of clouds, but it's going to be a bit of a front in the area as it's kind of sitting in place during the day tomorrow. Notice we get some showers and storms to start to pop up along that, so that'll be our chance for storms through Tuesday evening. As we move into Wednesday, storms to our west will start to move in our direction. That'll probably be our best shot at showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon hours of Wednesday. Maybe a few out there Wednesday night as well, with more forming to our northwest. Temperatures currently sitting in the low to the mid-90s. Heat index today is 104 in St. John's, 97 for Lansing, Mason at 99 degrees. It is a scorcher once again. Our McLaren Cam temperature at 94. Heat index is 102 degrees with our dew point sitting at 72. Here's the view in Grand Ledge. I mean, it's a nice afternoon except for the heat. The heat index is currently 106 degrees with an air temperature of 96. This afternoon in Jackson, nice day to be at the park except for that heat index value of 94 degrees. Current temperature at 91. Even that breeze that's been between 10 and 20 doesn't make it feel a lot cooler. Final stop in Hillsdale. If you're outside this afternoon under the trees in the shade, it's the best place to be because it's hot. 93 the current temperature with a heat index value of 100. Here's tonight's forecast. Expect a low down to 72 degrees with mostly clear skies. Muggy out there tomorrow. tomorrow morning. Some showers and storms maybe in the afternoon. Heat index value will be close to 100 with an air temperature of 91 tomorrow. The 6-day forecast on Wednesday, temperatures drop into the lower 80s, but still humid outside. As we head into Thursday and Friday, continued storm chances. It dries out but stays very warm over the weekend, close to 90 degrees. Next week, we've got a few days in the 70s, followed by low to mid 80s, much more tolerable and closer to average this time of the year.
Oh, those 70s are going to be a nice treat.
I know, right? I like being average.
Yeah, for once in our lives. It's great.
Thank you, David.